Hi, Kingston Town Administrator Keith Hickey with the latest edition of This Week in Kingston for the week ending July 25th, 2025. Hope everybody's enjoying the summer. Can't believe it's already almost the end of July. Um, some things happening in town. Just want to make people aware of. Again, I mentioned it last week. I'll mention it again. The Kingston Fire Department is holding a blood drive on Saturday, August 9th from 9 to 3 at the Central Fire Station at 105 Pembroke Street. This blood drive is to benefit the Boston Children's Hospital. So if you'd like to participate and donate some blood, we'd love to have you do that. You can go on the town website, and there's a QR code you can scan if you like, or there's a phone number on the website that you can call and make an appointment to have your blood drawn for the donation. You'll get a T-shirt and a hat if that is interesting to you, and we'll try to get you out as quickly as we can. But I want to thank the Kingston Fire Department for working to provide this great opportunity for people to donate to the Children's Hospital. And then lastly, again, I think I mentioned this last week also, there's 3 vaccination clinics that are being offered by the Kingston Board of Health. The first one is Tuesday, the 16th of September from 9 to 11 at the Council on Aging. The second is Tuesday, October 7th at the Townhouse from 1 to 3. And then the last is at the Townhouse again from 10 to 1 on October 22nd. There are 3 types of shots that you could get. The flu is a high dose vaccine if you're interested, available as well. Pneumonia and Hep B. So if anybody's interested in getting one of those shots, they are free. Please reach out to the Board of Health, make an appointment, and they'd be happy to provide whatever shots that you are interested in getting. So want to thank again the Board of Health and our health agent for working to provide these types of services to the residents of Kingston free of charge. The Board of Selectmen is meeting next Tuesday, the 29th of July. Got a number of interesting things on the agenda. We have the company who comes in and provides the electric aggregation program to the town, which a lot of people have signed up for. It allows you to potentially buy less expensive electricity through the townwide aggregation program than yourself individually through Eversource. They are coming in because they want to bring a new project into town for a low income community shared solar. What that will do is provide an even less costly option for those who are eligible to receive the low income status for their electric bill. We'll have some information on the website next Wednesday. There's some examples that the company will provide to the Board of Selectmen to show what sort of discounts there'll be for some of the low income eligible individuals. It's not going to be significant, but there will be a savings, and we hope anybody who's able to take advantage of that can do so. It's also time to renegotiate our cable franchise renewal with Verizon. So we have a legal counsel coming in who has represented Kingston in the past to negotiate a new cable franchise agreement for the next 5 years. It's interesting that the cable negotiations will start sometime end of 2025, early 2026, but the franchise renewal, the expiration date of our existing franchise agreement, isn't until sometime in 2028. So it's a little early, but the state of Massachusetts has notified us that we need to get moving. So we'll get squared away with that. Hopefully the board will support bringing on this attorney again, and we'll get that cable renewal squared away shortly. We have another dangerous dog hearing at 6:15. It's the same dangerous dog from 44 Rabbith Road, unfortunately, where we've had a third incident now with this particular dog. The police chief reached out to the dog owner and met with her along with the animal control officer earlier this week, and we're working with that dog owner to see if there's any willingness at all to potentially give that dog to in this case, a Great Dane, which is it's a Great Dane. So they give it to a Great Dane rescue organization that would be able to deal with some of the behavioral issues that dog is having and allow that dog to be rehabilitated to some degree and potentially rehomed in the future if it's able to get beyond some of the challenges it's facing now and was just causing it to act a little more aggressively than it should be. So we're hopeful at the hearing on Tuesday that the owner will has agreed and found and potentially is working to find um, a rescue organization that will take the dog. What I'm hoping is the board will give this property owner a couple of weeks to try to find that rescue organization and have the dog rehomed. If not, we'll have to have another public hearing or continue the same public hearing and potentially have the board will have the option, I guess, if nothing else, to require the dog to be humanely euthanized, which is something that is not pleasant for anybody in this situation, and something I'm sure the board didn't think about having to do when they decided to run for the Board of Selectmen. So, hoping that the property owner or the dog owner takes some responsibility here and does the right thing for her dog. Moving on from that, we have a one-day liquor license that's being requested by the Hilltop Athletic Association for a one-day event that's being held later on this summer for a softball tournament. It's been done now for several years. This is their request for an event that's happening sometime in early August. The town, I was reached out to, I guess, by one of the vice principals of the schools down at the elementary and intermediate schools. I'm sorry, I don't know which school he's the vice principal of, but he reached out probably 6 weeks ago anyways, and was looking to see if the town would be willing um, to establish a school zone in front of the elementary and intermediate schools. Something that seems like it would have been done when the schools were built or sometime in the last 30 years. It's a safety issue. The police department, Streets, Trees, and Parks, and I met with school representatives, and we talked about that. Out at the site, we identified locations that we think make the most sense for the school zone to be established. Um, and the superintendent brought this item to the Kingston School Committee probably 2 or 3 weeks ago. They supported this moving forward. So I'm bringing this to the Board of Selectmen on Tuesday night, asking the board to support establishing a school zone. What that will mean is spending upwards of about $25,000. I'm sorry, $15,000, about $8,000 for engineering and just over $7,000 for the appropriate signage to have engineered to make sure that we are complying with all the different state school zone laws, as crazy as that may sound, and then identifying the location of the signs and having the signs purchased and installed. We are hoping to have everything squared away and the signs ordered and installed and the school zone established before the first day of school this fall. So if you have kids going to the elementary and intermediate schools in the fall, you might notice a school zone that's been established there when you start bringing your kids to school. Moving on from there, I'm bringing forward a discussion to the board to see if there's any appetite for the board to consider appointing a town clerk rather than electing a town clerk. And I'm doing that for the same purpose that a proposal was brought forward and ultimately approved by the voters to appoint a a treasurer, tax collector. Town clerk is currently elected in a position, has been elected for a couple hundred years. Not trying to take anything away from the voters' ability to decide who's in the town clerk's office, but we want to make sure that the town clerk, let me back up, an elected town clerk, just like an elected tax collector, treasurer, doesn't have to be in the office at all. If they don't want to, they don't follow personnel guidelines. They can take as little or as much time away from the office as they want. Kingston's been very fortunate in the past that our treasurer, collector, and clerk have always basically worked regular business hours and have done a great job at overseeing their offices and making sure that the items that need to be addressed are addressed in a timely and appropriate manner. That being said, I think it's worthwhile is at least broaching the subject about whether or not that the board is interested in asking the voters if they would like to have an appointed town clerk that would allow uh, somebody who has some experience or capabilities to be able to fill that position, but as important, would have to follow the personnel guidelines that the town has established for the wage and personnel employees of town, the non-union employees. So they wouldn't be able to take more time off than they're allowed. They'd be subject to discipline if there was if it was necessary to do so, and things of that nature. Where right now there just isn't that ability to deal with that. So um, working through that, the board may decide very quickly they aren't interested in pursuing that, and if they aren't, that's fine. The reason I bring it up is we would have to wait until the town clerk's um, uh, term expires, and that term expires now, will be expiring, the current term will be expiring in May of next year. So if it were to be brought forward at the fall town meeting, approved, we would have to submit special legislation that would ideally be approved before the May elections, and shortly after the elections, the Board of Selectmen would advertise, interview, and hire a town clerk if they wanted to go to an appointed town clerk. So it's a housekeeping item. I think it's at least worth having a conversation about. If the board chooses not to go in that direction, that's absolutely fine. We'll continue with an elected town clerk and move forward with that. But I thought it's worth the conversation. So that's all we've got this week in the update. I want to thank you guys very much for watching. Hope everybody has a great week, and we'll talk to you again next week.